The BougeRV diesel heater, they say they can heat up a tent that's 300 cubic feet in under 8 minutes. That's kind of a small tent, so we want to know how it handles this massive 800 cubic foot 4-person tent. BougeRV did send this heater to us for review. If you want to know how we handle free products, you can go check out this link on our website. You have found Explore Trek Adventure with Kelly and Greg. We cover everything camping from backpacking to adventure vans. Quick overview of our tent. This is the NatureHike Massif 4-person tent. This is our go-to hot tent. It is big. We got a sleeping quarter over here that fits 2 people. We got a sleeping quarter over here that can fit 2 people. And then the hot stove goes right here in the middle. I can totally stand up in this easy. We use the Palmolive Oraquin Mini 3 stove to heat this thing up, and it sits right in the middle, and this thing gets toasty in here. The real question is, will this diesel heater heat this tent up and make it feel just as cozy as the wood stove? Now, where are you gonna use this at? We can do it in a hot tent like we're gonna test out today. Other tents, of course, but I think the most practical one would be in a rooftop tent. Since it is all self-contained, this would be easy to set up with it. Yes, you can use it in a van or in a vehicle, but that might take a little bit more work with all the exhaust and intake. Since this is already all self-contained, you're not gonna have to be putting parts all together. It's all in one box, ready to go.
Let's check out everything you get in the box. You have your muffler, which goes onto your actual exhaust pipe here. But do keep in mind, these things are gonna get stupid hot, so be really extra careful. And this has a straight shot right through there, so I'm not sure what kind of muffling it does, but we will see. You get 3 different power cords. This part actually plugs into the device itself. This one has the cigarette adapter lighter. One thing to note is that it does have a note that says this pulls more than 10 amps. I think it was 12 amps on start. So the average power station is not going to power this. In that case, you're stuck with running this, which I'm not super excited about because then you got to run the inverter, use extra power. I don't like that, but we'll see what we'd have to do. One last option, if you were to wire this directly to a battery. You also get a little tiny remote control. It just has an on-off and a plus and minus for temperatures. You have your flexible hot air pipe, and this will expand quite a bit. This also is an air duct. So like if you were to hard mount this through a wall, maybe like in a garage or something. Looking at the top of the unit, you have 2 handles, and they do fold flat, which is kind of cool. Although you do have this, this is where your diesel goes in. And one thing I noticed right when this pulled it right out of the box is this stinks like diesel. And if you read their FAQs, they actually test these before they send them out. So they are a little stinky of diesel. One thing that differs about this is it's completely enclosed. You can't see the actual tank, but they do have a little slit here so you can see how much fuel is in that tank. Flipping it over to the front, you've got this control panel, which actually does pop off, and it actually was popped off like that out of the box. And then right here, this is where your intake is. This is where the cold air comes in. And then right here is where you need to apply power to this thing, and that's where those cords come into play. On one of the flat sides, you have a hole here, and it does have a threaded cap, but there's some threads in there, and this is where your muffler attaches to. So that you gotta make sure that wherever you're putting this, you have a spot for that muffler to hang out. One thing that all diesel heater manufacturers need to do better is on your marketing. They just market these things terrible. The photos that they use make it look like you can just pick this up, plop it down, plug it in, it's just gonna shoot hot air out. And there's one specific image on the BougeRV site is where this thing is sitting in a garage and it's piped through the door, but then it's plugged into the wall. But if you look at the unit, this exhaust would be going straight into the wall. It shows no muffler whatsoever. In that scenario, not only are you probably going to burn your house down, but these are engines. These need to be vented properly. It doesn't even show the muffler on there, and you're going to potentially hurt somebody or kill somebody. These need to be vented outside. There's nothing I hate worse than smelling like diesel at camp. So I use rubber gloves. It's also nearly impossible not to get diesel everywhere with these new spouts with the extra contraptions you got to do. This has a 1.3 gallon tank. It's not super huge, but it's for these diesel heaters. They're pretty efficient. They run a long time. Let's get this heater ready to run. We need to put this muffler on. One thing I noticed is this does not go in. If you can see that it's kind of squished in there. So we need to go get some tools, see if we can fix that. Let's go with some pliers of some kind. Make sure you put your hose clamp on first. And then once you get it in there, you can slide it in. And now we just need to tighten our hose clamp. Now we can just thread our muffler on. Okay, and once that's tight, we want to put a nice bend in it here so it's not going to hang on the ground. This has to be totally open. You will fry your body or you will fry anything with that. So let's go stick it over by the tent. We'll get the hose in place. We're going to stick the heater as furthest away from the door as we can so we're not going to get any exhaust coming blowing in. I think we'll set it right here. Kelly's going to get all the pine needles out so we don't have any possibility of catching anything on fire. And we stick it right over here, and then we'll pipe it in here. This is a fairly short hose, and also it's not insulated. I've seen people with rooftop temps, if you're going to be like in super, super cold and want to retain that heat, get an insulated pipe, and then you can run it inside your tent. Should use a hose clamp here, but it does have little bitty ridges to hold it in place for temporary use. And we will just slide in here. We're gonna power this thing with our BougeRV AC50B. This remote control is prepared at the factory. You can either hit that button to start it up, or we can hit on here. It's got quite a bit of information on the screen. And there I can hear the fan starting up.
It's pulling just a little over 200 watts at initial startup. When Greg initially pushed the on button, it was just a very low hum, but now you can hear it just clicked on and it's getting a little bit louder. It's like it sounds like a little engine. Here's the sound of the intake. Now at the start I could hear the clicking start up of the fuel pump, but now I can barely hear it. Whereas if in the van, it's noisy. I mean, eventually you get used to it, but it's a constant click. It's been 5 minutes, let's see what's coming out. That's actually pretty warm. I would think that this would be able to heat it up pretty well. Ooh, that's nice. Warms my cold hands.
When it comes to noise at camp, generators are obviously the absolute worst.
Yes.
The question is how bad is that versus a generator?
That is like nothing compared to generators. I mean, it's still noisy, obviously, but generators are 1,000 times worse, I think.
Now, Kelly seems to think that it's okay if we were in a campground, if you were to run that.
Yeah, I'm not that.
So if we were like over here, would you be happy with that noise?
Well, obviously you want to hear nature. You don't want to hear that noise, but I don't think it's that bad. I think of it more as like a background white noise.
It is a background white noise.
I wouldn't want it to be running 24/7.
I think it's too loud for a campground.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
You can camp with Kelly in a campground. I think it's too loud. And the noise is just kind of a white noise, a white hum. And we are running and it's pulling right about 100 watts. The BougeRV says it'll run for 3.5 hours in that state. But right now, this thing is at the full 5,000 watts. So let's turn it down. Let's go down to 2,000. Okay, the heater's actually starting to ramp down a little bit. So it's making much less noise. Overall, it is very quiet. It's not making that horrible clicking noise that a lot of diesel heaters will make. How is it in there?
It's actually very toasty. I could easily take my jacket off. It's got hotter in here quicker than I thought. It's been running for about 14 minutes. And yeah, it's toasty warm. It's still a little bit not terribly cold outside, but it did get down to 25 last night. So it'll be interesting to see when that temperature drops, how well it keeps this tent warm.
What's the temperature now outside?
I think it's like 45. If you're in mild temperatures, then it's no problem heating up a tent this size.
Yeah, I think it could go way bigger and still have plenty of heat in here. So 45 degrees, that little thing, no problem. All right, this is interesting. We have 2,000 watts on the heater, and this thing ramped all the way down to only consuming about 21 watts. So that's pretty awesome, actually. Now it says we could run for 12.5 hours in this little BougeRV.
I do like the fact that you can set a timer on this thing. So say you want to go out for a hike, but you don't obviously need to be heating up your tent. Turn it off, and you want to be having your tent nice and cozy when you get back, you can set a timer for it.
I bumped it up to 3,500 watts, and now we're pulling about 60 on the power station. So if it's not that cold out, you could run this thing a long time on low.
Yeah, the neat thing about it, they were saying that you can actually set it, like say you want it to run for 3 hours, you can set it for 7, 8, and 9 a.m. You can set it for when you want to turn it on. Yeah, it's actually got quite a few different options for the timer itself.
Plus, you could always reach out of your sleeping bag and hit the on button on here, and that's pretty cool.
It has gotten cold.
It is cold. We got a nice fire going here. So let's answer our first impressions of that diesel heater. You're pretty new to diesel heaters, so
Yeah, this is my first time I've ever dealt with a diesel heater.
What do you think?
Yeah, I would think it was pretty nice, actually. I think the only thing I would change is maybe the length of the tube.
But it's pretty easy to operate.
Yeah, I think actually I could do it by myself.
And there is a mobile app, which we haven't tried, but the remote control worked well.
Yeah, easy.
And what did you think about the size?
Size I thought was a really nice, actually, pretty compact size. I guess in my mind I'm thinking generators and big, and I thought it was kind of small.
I like that it's square, and it would be easy to like pack into your Jeep or pack into a truck. The only thing is it's like a little brick. I think it's 17 pounds,
Yeah.
and I don't think that's with fuel. So it's got some heft to it. I have read some complaints. I think it probably goes for all of them. And it goes to like everything's built into the thing, except you have the hose that goes for the hot air, you have the muffler, and you have the power cables. And there's really nowhere to put those.
No.
There's no bag, so you'd have to find a place to store those.
Oh yes, it would be nice if it had a little bag for all the extras. I like the metal too. I mean, it looks nice. I like the look of it. I think this will be actually nice to use in our rooftop tent when we take that out, because we've never had heat up in there.
I think if there is a target audience, rooftop tents are the target audience
Yeah.
for this. Ground tents, totally the same, but usually rooftop tent people will have all the things.
All of the things, yes.
And I think it would be one of the good things to add.
Now, when it comes to power consumption, I didn't think that it was terrible.
Well, I think that's kind of the elephant in the room because it is constant. It's kind of like
That's
a
true.
fridge. A fridge uses quite a bit of power, but it cycles on and off, so it kind of evens out.
And you got to remember, you have to have a big enough power bank for it.
Running 200 watts at startup is pretty high, but that was only for a couple minutes. If you had that thing full on max, I think that was around 70, 80 watts. But down on the low end,
Yeah.
It was like 20.
Yeah, it said that was going to last a long time.
So if you were nice and toasty in there and you cranked that thing down and just either let it run, or you just cycled it on and off every 30 minutes or something. It is 29.4 degrees outside. Let's go see how well this heater actually heats. See how long it takes until we can take our jackets off, if it's even possible. We have a little bit of crunchy ice on the ground. It's definitely cold. Let's see how well the heater starts up when it's cold. This remembered the setting we had it on last night, so we'll need to turn it up. It's actually nice that it remembers its own setting. Okay, we're on max. Time to go set our timer and go into the tent. See how long it takes to get toasty. Oh, it's cold out. Our little skylight here, and it's got ice crusties on it. There is a bit of a knock on that pump when it's first starting. You can hear it starting to speed up. It's cold enough now you can see that exhaust coming out. There's quite a bit coming out of there. It's been about 3 minutes and there's just a little bit of warmth now I feel coming out of this pipe. That engine really ramped up too. The big noise you get on that heater is just the intake and it processing the air.
Oh, it's already getting warmer. I think it got a little cold last night. Got frost. You can see where it dried out the ground. It's like a cone of hotness coming right there. Oh, we're officially hot mode. This is like coming hot out of the furnace hotness. This actually, I need to move my hand a little bit. It's a little warm.
And to give you an idea, this is a 16-foot tent. 16 by 8 by 6, so this is a huge tent. It's been 9 minutes. Definitely time to take the hood off.
I'm not like hot, but I'm not cold considering it's, 29 outside. This is totally a manageable temperature. I mean, we have snow skirts around the edge, so it does block some of the coldness. But if you look at the front door where the flap is to exit, there is still cold air coming in. And I am a cold person. I mean, I hate the cold, absolutely hate it. And this is manageable, definitely. So they say 8 minutes to heat up a small tent. I would say absolutely no problem whatsoever. It took 10 minutes to heat up this huge tent. Yeah, definitely works well. I think the thing that surprises me the most is I don't smell diesel at all. When it comes to the exhaust pipe, I can touch it. It's definitely warm to the touch. You know, I can hold it for a little bit, so you got to be careful where you put it. But the metal muffler thingy, absolutely do not touch that. It gets up to over 400 degrees. That is molten hot. Back out into the cold. Now, if you're looking online, diesel heaters kind of have a bad rap when it comes to longevity. This thing, short term, has done really well. We're interested in putting it into the long-term test. You can go watch this video next. You can find us at explorertrekadventure.com, and we'll see you next time.